Welcome, everyone. Let's just take a moment and picture this. Imagine a world reborn. The great waters have finally pulled back, and there's this profound quiet hanging over everything. You can almost smell the clean, damp earth as mist rises from the mountainsides. And there, resting on solid ground, is a single vessel holding the very seeds of our new beginning. This isn't just the end of a catastrophic story. No, it's the coded, luminous start of everything that happens next.
Right at the heart of our entire journey today is this one powerful line from the Zohar talking about Noah and his family. And from these, the whole earth was spread. Now, on the surface, okay, it sounds pretty straightforward, right? A statement of fact. But in the world of Kabbalah, there's really no such thing as a simple statement. This verse, this is our master key for today. It's a fractal, a pattern that holds the blueprint for creation, for renewal, and for the very flow of the divine into our world.
So today, we're taking a deep dive through all 4 levels of the mystical Pardes. We're going to start by decoding this verse as an echo of creation itself. Then we'll link it back to the river from Eden, map out the cosmic architecture of the Sephirot that makes it all possible, and even see how it's all built with numbers and colors. And then we'll bring it right into our modern world with some fun analogies before, and this is the best part, discovering how this universal pattern is working inside you right now.
Okay, let's circle back to that verse, and from these, the whole earth was spread. The Zohar basically grabs us by the shoulders and forces us to ask a much deeper question. Is this just a historical account, 3 sons, their wives, and a bunch of descendants repopulating the planet? Or is the text handing us something way more profound? A kind of universal formula for how all of reality unfolds from a single point?
Seriously, think about that for a second. Is this story about history, or is it really about physics? Is it about genealogy, or is it about the engineering of the cosmos itself? The Zohar is suggesting that what happened with Noah's family is basically a mirror image, a replay of a much higher, much more fundamental creative process. It's not just a story, it's an algorithm for creation.
Right, and to really get the significance of this reboot, we have to understand what came before. The Zohar explains that from the moment of Adam's sin, which you can think of as the original system corruption, the world was in a state of spiritual poverty. It was imbalanced, spiritually malnourished. The channels that let divine energy flow into the world, they were all clogged up. So the flood wasn't just some random punishment. It was a hard reset, a total system wipe. And Noah's offering afterward, that was the reboot sequence that reestablished cosmic order and got everything flowing again.
So if Noah's story is a reactivation, a reboot of a deeper pattern, then what is that original pattern? Well, to understand the spreading that came from Noah, we have to rewind all the way to the beginning, to the original blueprint laid out in the Garden of Eden. The whole secret is unlocked when you realize the story of Noah is a mirror image of the story of the river that flowed out of Eden.
And here it is, laid out right in the Hebrew itself. This is amazing. On the left from Noah's kids, the earth was spread. The word is niftza. On the right, the river from Eden parted or separated. The word is yipared. The mystics look at this and see the exact same dynamic. It's the same fundamental action of creation. You have a single source that branches out to fill a receptive world. From one comes many. It's the same pattern. So what even is this Eden we're talking about? Well, the Zohar is really clear. It's not just some garden on a map. Eden is a code word for a supernal state of being. It's the ultimate source of all potential, the cosmic wellspring. It's often identified with the Sephirah of Hakma, or divine wisdom. And that river? That's the constant, never-ending flow of that divine potential, that light and life force, moving out from the source to water all of reality.
And this gets us to a really crucial point. The flood wasn't just an ending. It was a coded beginning. It was a factory reset. It wiped the corrupted operating system so that the original pure creation protocol, what we can call the River from Eden protocol, could be run again. Noah and his family, they become the brand new conduit for that primal creative energy to re-enter and repopulate the entire world.
Okay, so to really truly get this pattern of source-flow-vessel, we need to pull back the curtain and look at the cosmic wiring diagram. I'm talking about the divine architecture known as the 10 Sephirot. This is the system, the divine plumbing, through which the infinite, unknowable divine essence steps down, organizes itself, and becomes the structured reality that we all experience.
Let's start at the very top. We have Binah, which means understanding. In Kabbalah, Binah is called the Great Mother, the supernal world to come. Now, try to imagine a vast, infinite reservoir of pure, undifferentiated potential. A kind of cosmic womb from which literally all form can eventually emerge. The texts even call it a ceaseless river. This is our supernal Eden. This is the ultimate source where the flow begins.
Okay, so you have all this infinite potential in Bina, but it needs a channel, right? A focused pipeline to bring it down into our world. That is the job of Yesod, the foundation. Yesod acts like a cosmic funnel. It gathers all the expansive energies from the Sephirot above it, all the love, all the discipline, all the harmony, and focuses them into one potent stream that's ready to manifest. Yesod is the river, and in our story it's embodied by the tzaddik, the righteous one, Noah.
And where is this super potent river flowing? It's all headed to Malchut, the kingdom. Malchut is the final destination. It's the great receptive vessel. For us, that's our physical reality, the earth itself. The Zohar explains that when the verse says, the earth and its fullness, it means that the earth, Malchut, is literally made full by the souls, by the divine flow that it receives from the source through Yesod. It only becomes fertile and alive when it receives that divine energy.
So, it really boils down to this clear, three-step creative process. First, step 1, you have the infinite source of all potential. We call it Bina or Eden. Step 2, you have the focused channel that gathers and directs that potential. That's Yesod, the river, embodied by Noah. And then step 3, you have the final manifestation, the vessel that receives this flow and makes it real. That's Malchut, the earth, now filled with a new humanity. Now, this is absolutely crucial to understand. This divine flow, this spreading out from Noah, it's not chaotic, it's not a random explosion of life. No way. It's a highly structured, incredibly organized expansion. It unfolds according to a precise blueprint, a language of creation that we can actually perceive through the architecture of numbers and the energetic frequencies we see as color. So let's look at this divine math. At the very root, you have the number 3. This represents the 3 core parts of any creative act. Sefer, the blueprint of the structure, Sofer, the scribe or the force doing the writing, and Sapor, the story or the information being written. This basic trio then unfolds into the number 7, which basically governs the structure of our physical world. Think the 7 lower Sephirot, giving us the 7 days of the week, the 7 heavens, the 7 lands. The whole structure is 10, the complete Sephirotic tree. And from that, humanity itself branches out in this beautiful ordered way into 70 root nations. It's all a structured mathematical unfolding. Now let's talk about the energies that paint this whole picture. The primary creative impulse is the force of Chesed, which is unconditional loving kindness, or mercy. And its color is a brilliant, pure white. This is the energy of infinite, unrestrained giving. It just wants to expand, to give goodness without any limits at all. It's pure, undifferentiated light just flowing outward.
But you can't have a world made of just pure, infinite light, right? For anything to actually exist, for any form to take shape, that white light has to be contained. It needs boundaries, definitions, structure. And that's the job of Gevurah, judgment or strength. And its color is red. Gevurah is the force of limitation, of contraction, of setting those necessary boundaries. It's the vessel that contains the white light of Chesed, so that specific, defined things can actually come into being.
So where does creation actually happen? It happens in the harmony between these two forces. It's this incredible dance, this dynamic interplay between the expansive giving of white Chesed and the defining restraining power of red Gevurah. It's this perfect balance that allows for structured, stable, and beautiful growth, creating the infinite spectrum of colors and forms and experiences that make up our entire reality. It's the dance between them that gives birth to everything.
Okay, I get it. These concepts, supernal flows, divine math, cosmic colors, they can feel pretty abstract, pretty out there. So to make this really tangible, let's try translating this ancient wisdom into a couple of languages we all understand in the 21st century. We can actually see this exact same pattern playing out using analogies from technology and even video games. All right, for all the tech people out there, let's look at this like cosmic engineers. It's a distributed system. Bina, the infinite source, that's your central mainframe server, holding the master source code for reality. Yesod, the river, that's your main API, the high-bandwidth connection streaming the data. And Malchut, the earth, that's the whole network of distributed nodes, or user instances receiving the data. So Adam's sin was a virus that caused a catastrophic system crash. The flood was the forced shutdown, and Noah and the ark, that was the clean backup image, the reboot protocol. The repopulation of the Earth is just the system spawning new, clean instances from that backup. Simple, right?
And if that's too corporate, how about this? Think of it like a video game. Level 1, the developer generates the world map. We'll call it Eden. But then there's a major event, the sin of Adam, that introduces system-wide corruption. Bugs, glitches, lag everywhere. This triggers a huge, dramatic cutscene, the Great Flood, which is basically a server-wide hard reset. Then, the game restarts, loading the main player character Noah from the only clean save file that's left. And the result? The reboot is successful, and it unlocks all these new maps and levels, the 70 nations, and the next big expansion of the game can finally begin.
Now this is all fascinating. Cosmic mainframes, video game world maps, but here's where it gets really profound. The whole point of this teaching is that this grand pattern isn't just something that happened out there thousands of years ago. This entire structure, source, channel, and manifestation, it's happening right now, inside each and every one of us. So let's bring it all home.
The Kabbalists teach this really foundational idea: 3 partners there are in a person. And this is so important. They're not just talking about our biological parents. They are talking about spiritual archetypes, these fundamental forces that combine to create a complete human being. And as we're about to see, these 3 partners map perfectly onto the Sephirotic structure we've been exploring.
So partner number 1 is the Father. Spiritually, this is our teacher, our source of wisdom and structure. This partner gives us the white, the spiritual DNA, the rules, the framework, and crucially, the power to restrain our raw desires for some higher purpose. Then there's partner number 2, the Mother. This represents our environment, society, our physical nature. This partner gives us the red, our physical substance, that raw, powerful desire to receive and experience the material world.
And that brings us to the third partner, the divine. What does the divine give us? Our soul, our neshama. And what does the soul actually do? Well, it's the ultimate balancing force. It's the internal harmonizer that takes the white of structure and discipline from our father principle and the red of raw desire from our mother principle, and it weaves them together. It creates the harmony that allows us to build a complete, balanced, and functioning life out of these 2 powerful, opposing forces.
And so we see it. The entire cosmic pattern is also our personal blueprint, which leaves us with a question to really take with you this week. What is the Eden, the supernal source of potential that exists inside of you? What is that unique river of talent, passion, and energy that flows from it? And maybe most importantly, what is the world, your family, your community, your life's work, that you are building and nourishing with that sacred flow?
Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We really hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please do like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We love reading them. We'll see you in the next chapter.